Hi everyone, today I'm going back to Art Journal from scratch, and today I'm going to show how to make very simple stamps just from craft foam. After you told me that it's something that is accessible and cheap, then I'm going to show some examples. Now there are more extensive with more information about making your own stamps on my channel. I will put links below. There are also how to make your own stencils if you're interested in it, and how to make your own sprays and so on and so forth. So very simple today. I'm just taking one of them. These are mostly come in this kind of packaging, at least here at the cheap store. They are supposed to be for children. Now it's like 1 millimeter thick, and you can do all kinds of stamps with it. There are more thick craft foam. This is like 5 millimeters thick, but these are mostly can be found only in craft stores, and it's not that cheap. Another thing is there are for children again already cut shapes, all kinds of stuff already cut. They also come with adhesive in the back. You just peel it and there is adhesive, so that in itself can be a stamp. That in itself can be a stamp, and so on. And you can also combine if you've got all kinds of shapes, if it's rectangles, squares, circles, like again, this is sold for kids. All these dots can be peeled and you can arrange them in any order that you want, so you can create more interesting patterns. And another thing is, well, I'll talk about it later on. So one of my loves is circles. So one of the stamps that I really love is very simple to make. You just grab something round and trace it. Let's move this. You don't even have to do a perfect circle, but just right now for showing how to do it, a regular pen made this the circle, and now I'm doing a dot in the middle. I'm eyeballing it because it really doesn't matter. And now I'm doing some lines from the center towards the outside like this, and I'm putting a little bit of pressure, but not too much, because I don't want it to score and tear the craft foam. So just like this, nothing is measured. And of course I can do as many lines as I want. It seems very simple, but it stamps really nice. Okay, so I can decide that I want more lines, or I can leave it as is. I'm just adding one here and one here. Again, you just need to be a little bit put a little bit of pressure, but not go all the way through. And now you just have to take it out. I'm using nail scissors. I'm using the curve to my advantage. It's easier for me, but you use whatever scissors you have. One stamp done. Now you can decide that you want to leave it as is. You can decide to put it on something more firm. Now in terms of handle, there are two ways to go about it, and I didn't bring, okay, I'll grab something. forgot to bring it. Okay, handle can be either stiff or flexible. I prefer to go these days with flexible. I will take a piece of duct tape like so, fold a little bit here in the middle, and then I will adhere it like this. Now this is one way to go about it. Okay, and now I have a handle for my stamp. That's when I want it to be flexible. Why would I want it to be flexible? It's because if I have an art journal, I'm bringing something in just to show. If it's an art journal that has a spiral and I want to stamp here, I want it to be flexible. Or if I've got a journal like this, again, if I want to stamp here, I want it to be flexible. Sometimes I don't bother and I want it to be on some stiff substrate. Then you can go and adhere this stamp. Let's remove the duct tape, or I'll leave it be and I'll do another stamp. I'll do another stamp, and that one I will adhere either to a packaging, again, whatever packaging you have, or a corrugated cardboard. Also can be a good substrate. And let's see. Now I'm going to do something similar to what I've done here. I'm doing a smaller circle. I'll also show you all kinds of other stamps that I have. Now, I'm not only doing stamps today, I also want to show you how I'm using it in the art journal. And now, I'm going to do it like this, because I don't care that it would be a perfect circle. And I'm thinking I'll do another one, yeah, here, something like that. Okay, so again, I'm doing like this. I also have some indentation from the circle that wasn't that great. I don't care, just going like this. It looks very simple, but the outcome could be very interesting. So now again, I'm just making lines. Now if you're worried about getting into the stamp, the one that's in the middle that I haven't cut yet, just cut it first. I'm just going very quickly to show you how I'm doing it, and again, decide how many you want. It doesn't look like much, but I want you to see how something so simple that anyone can do will look at the art journal. Again, you can do whatever pattern that you want. Okay, so now I'm going to cut all of this. I'm not too worried about being precise. That's just how I roll. You can do you. Okay, so now I need to cut inside. Again, any box cutter or a utility knife, or just this, I am puncturing it here It's very soft and very thin, so I'm just going and cutting it like this. And again, the smaller circle here, a little bit more difficult. I made something like this way bigger. Now I'm doing it this size so it would fit the journal that we made from paper bags. Okay, so I've got 3 stamps and I want them to have some substance to some backing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to trace them again. Doesn't have to be precise. Tracing them, I want to cut a piece of the packaging that will fit. Now you can go larger than the actual stamp. I don't like to do it anymore because oftentimes what happens is that whatever you're using, which is mostly I use acrylic paint with this kind of stamps, it will go, if you make a square as your like this, a lot of times the paint, or if you're using an ink pad, will go on this, and without noticing it will also stamp. So nowadays I prefer to just cut to size. Now this one is very small, so I probably should have stuck it to something more than a packaging, like taking a piece out of this, or if you've got, again, I don't know if it's accessible, if you've got a foam core board, it's also a nice substrate for a stamp. Let's see. So even this little stamp, I will glue it here. And also you can, if you want a thicker stamps and you don't have the thicker craft foam, you can always glue 2-3 pieces of craft foam together and then make your stamp. So of course for this one I can't go and do anything behind. I can find stuff. I used to buy game pieces, like the little pins that you go across the board game and glue them in the back, so it's also an option. These days I don't do this kind of small stamps, so I don't have to deal with it. So here we go. Here is the next one. And where did I put this? Here we go. A piece of duct tape. I'm going to use this in my art journal. Okay, so here we go. And now the third one. Okay. Almost done. Very, very simple. Okay, so we've got all this, and I want to show you more examples of very simple stamps that you can make. I've got some not so simple here, but I'm going to just talk about the simple ones. These are a rubber, I just forgot the word for it. You can hardly find it in, at least here at the hardware aisle, in the cheap store, and I just glued them all kinds of patterns. Here are more stamps, spirals. Here is more of this. You can also cut a spiral out of a craft foam. This is a piece from a game, from a children's game, and it was from craft foam, so I just stuck it. Again, these are just indentations made with a pen. Here the indentations were made with soldering iron on thick craft foam, just so you will know. Very simple to do. You just cut trapezoids from the craft foam and make this pattern. More stamps, very simple ones, just by doing indentations. It's really up to your imagination. This is just with a pen. These are all the bought already cut that I've showed you, a craft foam. What else? Again, you can make all kinds of leaves with all kinds of things on the inside, depending on what you like. A clover leaf, ginkgo leaf. You can cut diamonds and do all kinds of patterns with it. All kinds of triangles and hexagons. Some, I don't know what to call it. It's just something that I wanted to do. Make like brick wall. Here is a very simple, another simple, oh, I'm not out of frame, for God's sakes. Here we go. Another very simple shape to do. I hope that you could see the other stuff and I wasn't always out of frame. I'll just go over again very quickly so you can see. Maybe, yeah, I'll go a little bit out. Sorry. Okay, let's hope you didn't get dizzy. So all kinds of stuff. There are also for children all kinds of lettering from craft foam. At least I found it at the cheap store. So if you want to make a stamp out of them, you just have to flip them over. So mirror image for it to work. All kinds of other stamps that I've made. So you see this is a already cut a shape that I have from the cheap store, and I just glued it to a foam core board to make a stamp out of it. So it's very simple. And another thing is there are all kinds of like spongy foamy mats for the refrigerator. Sometimes they are just simple squares like this. Sometimes they come in a roll, like with a lace pattern, and all those things can make great stamps. All kinds of silicone trivets and coasters can make great stamps. So there are all kinds of stuff out there that you can find and make stamps out of. I think I covered most of the stuff, and if not, really go check the other videos that I've made to see all the other details and what you can do for stamps. So here is the art journal that I've made from paper bag. I want to do here, I think on this page I will work first on this one, then on this one. I think I'll make here some kind of a background from these 3 stamps, and I think I'll use this one to create some kind of a focal point. I think we'll see. So the only thing is that I feel like some here I was in a hurry, and I think I didn't do enough in terms of scoring the lines, so I'm trying to go back and go over, otherwise I won't have the result that I want. So just going over the lines. Okay, let's hope that I've done it, that it will be good enough. Some looks fine and some looks like I didn't put any pressure at all. Okay, so I'm thinking, let's see, I'm starting with white acrylic paint here. Okay, now for using the stamps with the acrylic paint, all kinds of way to go about it. Best way is if you have a brayer. Not, again, it's not something that you can find everywhere, and it's not always cheap. If you don't have a brayer that can be found in art and craft shops, then there are something similar in that sometimes I find in the baking aisle that resembles a brayer, and it has like a silicone coat. So if you've got a brayer, just go like this, so it would be flattened and you can put your stamp on it. If not, then you can use either a brush or your finger, up to you. And again, even on the stamp, you can decide how to go about it. I prefer to use my finger. That's how and also sometimes I will go like this. Okay, so you see, first I don't have a complete coverage. Sometimes when it's only the first use, then you need to help it along. And when I'm doing it with my finger, I feel that I have a better control over it. Now, if I'm not sure, I can always stamp it on something else and see how it goes. You see? So I can now go back with a little bit like this. It doesn't have to be perfect, at least not for me. And I'm going with stamping it here. Now, I didn't iron the paper bags. Again, I like it grungy like this. You can iron them and you will probably have a better result stamping it. Now, of course, when you put a lot of acrylic paint, it will go inside the indentations. Again, just be gentle with it. And when you're finished, always clean it immediately. Don't let the acrylic paint dry on your stamp. Okay, a little bit more. I want some that comes off the edges. I like doing it. It feels more organic when I'm doing it, so that's how. One here, and just maybe a hint here. Yeah, okay, so finished for right now with this stamp. So I'm grabbing a wet wipe. I've got a large bucket underneath my desk with wet wipes. Here we go. Yeah, all over my fingers. Next, now I want to use this one, and I'm going with black. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a little bit with my finger, going again, just because I feel that I'm more in control when it's like this, and I'm going inside like so. I'm already loving it. Okay, a little bit here, a little bit here. Yeah, okay, next. Now let's see if I've got enough left of the white to put on this little one. No, not enough. Just put a little bit more white. Okay. Oh, I forgot to wipe this out. It's more for not getting inside the indentations, and then you don't have any stamp. So yeah, okay. White. I've put a little bit too much. Yeah, very small stamp, a little bit difficult, but I'll manage. Yeah, okay, now I really like it. I feel like I want some more so I'm thinking of going back to this one, and yeah, of course I can add more colors, I can do all kinds of stuff, but right now I am keeping to this white and black on the craft paper. For that matter, it's paper bag, but for all intent and purposes it's craft paper. Yeah, now I want just a little bit here. I just need to mask. Don't want it to spill into. Yeah, don't know why I felt like it needed it here, but here we go. Okay, wiping again, and let's see, I've got one big mess here. Well, I need to do more so the indentation will be more visible, but for right now this is good enough for me. Just adding detail to my background. I'm making a mess as I go. Okay, I need to wipe things here. I need to get control of the mess and I'll be back. Okay, so mess a little bit under control. I want to create some kind of focal point here, and one of my the best things that I like to do is all kinds of branches with leaves, and I'm just doing with a permanent marker the stem for that, and I'm making it a little bit thicker towards the bottom. Very, very simple, and it could be anything. It can be straight, it can be wavy, and it can be like this. It almost looks like a dandelion here, so you can also do dandelions from that. And I've got some leftover painty paper from last time, the first series that we made all kinds of painty papers just by scraping paint with a plastic card on printer paper, and here I've smudged just with a makeup sponge and acrylic paint, just smudged it. So this is another one, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to take leaf shapes out of this paper and maybe another one. Now you can, for leaf shapes, and it was in the first series, you can just fold in half and cut. It's easier to do if you want a symmetrical shape, so up to you. And I think, yeah, I think part of the leaves will be from this and part from the purple one. Let's just see how it goes. Like, let's say here one, or maybe I'll just go and do all the leaves from the same, but I want to be a little bit more let's say adventurous, and maybe use also the purple. Let's see how it will work. I'll just cut these ones. Just don't want to cut too many at first. So I only made 3 right now. Let's see. I'll just do 1 and then we'll see how it works with the blue. Maybe. Okay, let's do another one. So they will be alternating, one like this and one like this. If not, I can just cut from the same paper. I'm planning to do more painty papers in other techniques, not only the scraping paint. So I hope it will be in the next art journal from scratch. So you will have more painty papers to play with. And also there is a series that I've made, how to make your own painty papers, collage papers. There is at least 10 of them. So in all kinds of techniques to make painty papers, collage papers. So again, you just need to go and check, do a search in my channel. Okay, so I'm going to cut more leaves and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I really like it. I just want to add a little bit of detail to each leaf, and I don't know, I'm just adding some spirals. I don't know, because I feel like it. What can I say? It can be anything. I could just added some dots. It could have been lines, like veins on the leaves. Yeah. Of course, I can work more on this. I could do some splattering in these colors to be in the background, but I'm going to keep it simple. I want to move on just to show you another way to use this simple stamps. And I'm just going to take some book pages and I'm going to tear just so we'll have something interesting in the background. Some glue stick. Oopsie. Very brittle. The darker the color of the book pages, the more brittle it is. And let's find, just look, maybe this is the book page that I just used a black acrylic paint with water, so it was be easier, and I just stamped this circle and this circle. So very, very simple. Yeah, okay, I'm going with it. Okay, so now I want to make a, let's say, a vase, and I'm going to use one of these. Let's go with this one. I haven't used it yet. I'm going to fold it here, so I will have some kind of a symmetrical vase. I decide on the shape I want it. I think maybe a little bit bigger. And now to cutting it. Okay, we've got a nice vase, and I want to add some black line. You don't have to. Okay, got the vase. Okay, I'm taking a pencil. This is a 10B. Anything that is 6B and more can work, just to add some shadow so it won't look completely flat. I'm going like this and smearing with my finger. It can be done with a Q-tip, with a makeup sponge, whatever you want. I'm doing it with my finger. I'm also going underneath here to make like a shadow. Again, a little bit of smearing. Very, very simple. And now for making some flowers. And maybe I thought of at least 3 stems, but now I'm thinking on doing only 1. Don't know why, I'm not sure yet. Let's do 1 and then we'll see. Again, just black marker, and let's see. Let's bring some purple. We're going purple. Okay, so I'll start with this one. That's the first stamp I've done today. Again, just using my finger. Yeah. Now it doesn't look like much yet, but wait for it. Now I would have preferred if I had 3 sizes of the same thing, but that's okay. I'll just do it like this. And let's see. Not great. I will show you how I'm going to fix it. But right now it's just easier that I have yeah. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry for a minute and I'll be back. Okay, so that's how I'm making everything come together. I'm making stems for these ones and this one. Yeah, I know right now it looks, I'm just going around with kind of a wavy line. I don't want it to be a perfect circle. Doing on the smaller ones, I'm doing one black dot at the center. I'm going to do a dot here, and here at this bigger ones, bigger flowers, bigger, I don't know what to call them. I'm going to just go and add black lines like so. Now I'm not trying to be perfect or anything. It's just part of, I don't know, of playing and having fun with it and liking what you do. Basically, this is it. I just wanted to show you how simple it is and how you can use a stamp to create a focal point or to create a background just by repeating it and creating a pattern. It doesn't have to be circles. It can be, I could have made a leaf shape a stamp and stamped it all around with different colors. All kinds of things can be done. I would probably just one thing is bothering me. I'm taking a little bit of the purple and I'm going on top of this black here just to get rid of it a little bit. not that important, but yeah, I can work on it later on more, but I kind of like this very rough, very feel to this. That's what I like when I'm making paperback journals. Everything looks more grungy and you feel more free to do whatever you want. Nothing needs to be completely perfect. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for leaving me comments down below, and I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.